Hello, everyone. Welcome. We have another all-skills race here between Dyenamite and valignatev today. And this is, of course, part of the Hollow Knight 2021 All-Skills No Major Glitches tournaments. That is, of course, being hosted here on the SpeedGaming channel. And this is part of the first round of the 1.2.2.1 patch brackets, I guess. The Swiss brackets.
Yes, so both of these runners, this is their first match, and hopefully we'll see good things out of both of them in this match and the other Swiss matches. So I am Aerosaber.
And I am Blue. And yeah, we'll be your comms, I guess, today. So yeah, I think this is both our first times doing commentary. Yep. So it'll be interesting. Sorry if we suck. But yeah, anyways, we're just waiting for the runners to get all set up and all of that, and then we can start the race.
Yep, so if you're not familiar with the run that's going to be happening, this is all skills. This is the third, I think, shortest run in Hollow Knight. It's a good bridge between the max percentages and any percent. And in it, you have to get all of the collectible upgrades in the game. So like Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, that is all nail arts, all upgraded movement abilities. I say upgraded because just to make sure that that includes Shade Cloak and all upgraded spells. And then we have to get an ending. And of course, the runners are going to be doing the main Hollow Knight's ending because, of course, it's the fastest one. Mm-hmm. So that is what you'll be seeing today. This run is around an hour long, a bit less if you're getting optimized. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. We'll be trying to read the chat if anyone has any questions that you perhaps want answered, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to be getting both the runners ready sometime soon. But I hope you guys liked the Mila killing. Because
wait, who said anything about Mila killing?
Oh, Valley was killing Mila before the while we were setting up.
Oh my.
The only correct option.
Oh my. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed, I must say.
I am very proud. I think we still have a bit until the tournament, until we're ready to start. So just chill out and get ready.
Yeah. So for both of these runners here, I'm not too sure about Dyenamite. I don't think I've seen them around all too much. But valignatev's PB is... actually, let me bring up speedrun.com.
It's a 50 minute 47 second. I have for Valley, and for Dyenamite's, it's a 1 hour and 15 second. So a pretty big difference. But
yeah, the first round of the Swiss matches, they tend to be quite like broad in differences because of how the seeding works. But as we get to the later rounds, we'll see that start to even out, and we'll get some really close matches. And of course, this could still be a close match. You don't know. Maybe Dyenamite goes really, really quickly, and compared to their PB, and Valley gets a death or something. Of course, anything can happen. It's a tournament. There are nerves and all that stuff. So there's all that. So for both of the runners, we're gonna have to ask you to put on in-game audio just to make... Actually, hold on.
Yeah, I pinged him. I got it. Yeah, anything is definitely possible, but even in the first round, there are a lot of places in this run where you can lose upwards of 6 minutes to a death. And looking at you, Crystallized Mound, and yeah, there's definitely possibilities for a very close race. Maybe not as much in the later rounds, but definitely there is.
Yeah, I think the most likely place to see any deaths or stuff like that is probably around Crystal Peaks, as you mentioned. because that's a very, very long segment. You have to carry your health all the way coming out of Sanctum, all the way until you get Dreamnail and Descending Dark. And you know, you mess up one too many cycles, you get a hazard dunk one too many times.
Hit some. What are those things called? The things that shoot the crystals.
Oh, the crystal hunters, yeah.
The crystal.
And there's even a dark room as well. So if you get lost in that dark room, yeah, stuff can go pretty south pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there is also a bit of other difficult parts in this run, mainly Hornet 2, or Hornet. Is the second one called Sentinel, or is that the first one? The first one is Protector, right?
Yes, yeah, Protector.
Yeah, so Hornet Sentinel. Because we need Kingsbrand to get into the Abyss. And we have to fight her because of that. And that fight with the loadout that we have can be quite punishing, seeing as she is very fast, and we only have 5 HP.
Yes, and she likes to throw little stars in the worst possible locations every time. So, and just as like with Hornet 1, she loves to walk into you. But,
Alright, hold on.
We're still working on the audios.
Yeah, we're just setting up some technical aspects. We're trying to make sure the audio works for both of the runners. So that's why we're taking a bit to start. But I assure you, the runs are gonna start pretty soon. We're just waiting on that last little bit of setup. Put it that way.
Yeah, the run should be starting very quickly. So,
and of course, if you have any questions about the tournaments, I'm gonna post the command in the chats that fills that has a bit of information on it, a bit of links you can check out to see stuff like that, how to set up, or like if you're wondering about what the tournament looks like, we have the brackets there, we have the Hollow Knight Discord there, we have the SpeedGaming sites there. So if you're wondering about anything about this tournament, that's a good place to start to find out.
And due to very intensive research, I have found out that Valley is on Team Kill Mila, which we've seen, and Dynamite is on Team Save Mila. So
well, I know who I'm rooting for then already.
Yeah, align your who you're rooting for accordingly. And
Valley, I trusted you. Come on. I thought you were cool.
We're all very proud of you, Valley. But we're just waiting for the audio once again. Both runners say that they don't like Green Path and that their Green Path sucks, which is pretty interesting. It's a weird part of the run, Green Path.
Green Path is it's definitely, yeah, you're right. It's quite interesting because it's like right in the middle between being part of the how do I put this? Like the annoying early game that you have to go through every time you reset, and there's all that. But it still has some quite interesting technical parts to it. You know, you have the fireball skips, you have the Moss Knights, they can be quite rude, and then you have Hornet at the end, and like there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So it's actually quite rare to see someone have like a really, really, really good early game split, especially in Green Path. It's one of those that can just lose you a lot of time really easily.
And even in a tournament setting, it could set the momentum for the rest of the run, so I definitely pay attention to how both their Green Paths go.
Yeah, for sure.
So, we're still getting said that there's no game audio, But yeah, green path and the peaks are the worst death. That is absolutely true. Yeah, a death in Hornet is a very, very costly death. Although we don't really see deaths, especially from these type of good runners, we will see like a lot of small mistakes that can happen that really, when you're trying to grind down a PB, it really is unfortunate to see. Yeah. So,
Valignatev is saying that their audio is there, so I don't know what's happening. But
neither
we'll,
runners can die now.
hopefully figure it out pretty soon. Apologies for the wait. If we can't get any of the runners for audio, we could perhaps display the Hollow Knight OST. That's a good solution.
Everybody loves the Hollow Knight OST.
Who doesn't, honestly? Christopher Larkin has done an amazing job with it.
Yeah.
Which is like honestly one of the main reasons I'm so excited for Silksong, because if you've heard any of the 2 Silksong samples, they're very, very, very good. What can I say? They're I've listened to them one too many times, and it seems we're all set up already. I think we have the audio. So I think we are almost ready to start.
Yep. I think we are ready.
So I am gonna go ahead and count down the runners. Hold on, let me mute myself so you don't hear annoying keyboard noises.
Yeah, so as we're getting ready, put your alliances to who you like based on the Myla predictions, and make the timers the same font. Sadly, that isn't on us, and that's on the runners to make their timers do whatever. It's been a very common theme throughout this tournament so far to have weird and messed up timers, but it's not a big deal. It's, if anything, it makes it interesting to look at. So we will be counting down the runners now, and
purple is the color of the Mila Savers. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. So.
All right, I'll start the countdown of the runners. Everyone, let's get this match started.
Get your GLHFs ready, and yep. So yeah, Team Murder Myla. And we should be starting off soon.
They are off, I think. That should be it. There might be a bit of delay on it.
Hopefully none of them starts on a Steel Soul save.
I think there might be a bit of delay, or maybe they just didn't see the countdown. Hold on.
No,
this is a mess.
I think there is delay.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Dynamite starting, and
there might be a bit of delay. But except for that, I think, yep, there we go. All right.
So we are underway.
The match has begun.
So if you're
Dynamite timer is not working. Hold on.
Ooh, that is unfortunate.
I think
we need to restart.
Do we need a restart?
No.
No.
I think they should. I think the runner should be fine. It's close enough. If it comes down to be very close, we could do a retiming. But
yeah, it should all be fine.
I don't know the policy on this. The perfect policy for the first time commentators. Ooh, Valley missing that Vengefly Pogo.
Oof.
It's unfortunate.
As this is a no resets, almost anything can happen. Things can go very wrong for both of them, or they can suddenly go amazingly. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of runs we end up getting, because you do only have one attempt at it, and as everyone knows, if you've watched a speedrun stream, or if you are a speedrunner, you know that not all runs tend to go that well. So maybe this is one of them that doesn't. Maybe it is. We'll see.
Obviously, if you don't have a good King's Pass, that means the rest of the run can't go well. All speedrunners know this.
Hey, Elderbug.
So the two major things that most people ask about are the game text, which you'll see from time to time, which is in Chinese. This is to make sure the game, you scroll through the text as fast as possible. And another thing that people often ask about is, as you're seeing from Dynamite right now, is the opening of the menus to drop faster. This is just Team Cherry. This is just Team Cherry's game being like Team Cherry's game, and it's patched out mostly in the current patch of the game. But
that is a common theme.
Here. Yeah, it is a common theme for things to be mostly patched out.
Yeah, so as Erdo said, that trick of opening the inventory is called an inventory drop or a menu drop. And what it does is, first of all, it uncaps the falling acceleration. So, or quote-unquote uncaps. I think it goes to like 5,000 units or something. But pretty much uncaps it. And it also cancels the hard fall animations. So we don't get that kind of stun on the ground if we fall long distances.
Okay, I'm getting news that we do have to restart the race because Dynamite's timer is RTA.
All right. Yeah, I think, hold on.
So we're going to ask both the runners to restart. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience, but we are just getting that. Yeah, we're going to have to restart probably. Woo! Now you get to see what a real speedrunner is like, resetting in the early game. So, you got that? Perfect.
All right. So Dynamite seems to have caught on. Valley should hopefully be noticing in a couple seconds.
But the problem was that Dynamite's timer was in RTA and it wasn't synced to the game, which is unfortunate. But yes, the more early game. We're seeing some wiggles out of Valley, which are always appreciated. But yeah, can we restart?
Okay,
please?
They're both caught on. That we'll restart. We'll do another countdown. Sorry for this. There was a problem with Dynamite's in-game timer, or the auto splitter. So we should just be able to just jump on board with another run again. Once again, we only saw the first 2 minutes. So yeah, very true to the speedrunning experience of doing runs over and over again.
Restarting in the early game. We love to see
I'll do another countdown, and we should be on our way again.
Wait for Dynamite to get out of the game and into the menu.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical difficulties this time. It should be all figured out pretty soon. But yeah.
All right, they should be there.
All right, I think we're ready to count it down again. I'll do a countdown from.
Oh, Dynamite starting immediately. All right, we're gonna need him to quit out again. Dynamite, you have to wait for us. But
at least the timer's working. That's good.
We know the timer's working. That is a
nice.
Good thing. Yep.
All right.
Valley, thank you for waiting.
Actually, let me wait for Dynamite. All right, they're all set up.
All right, perfect. So, wow, we're getting a little deja vu.
All right.
Oh, Dynamite, can you please restart your timer?
Your timer isn't. Uh-oh. Yeah, you have to reset your timer. This is a tiny bit of a mess. It's all right though. Okay, they got it. They got it set up.
All right, we're gonna wait.
I'm hoping they're both going. There might be a bit of delay, as I mentioned. Yeah, okay. Dynamite's on their way. Valley should be hopefully soon.
Whew.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Finally. Actually, no, let's make sure both timers start.
Okay.
All right.
Dynamite's timer's working. Nice. And Valley's is as well. Nice. All right. Now we can explain the same thing as we explained last time. So we mentioned the inventory drops. Those are one thing that you're going to be seeing throughout the run. Another thing that is going to be quite common with this run is the lever skips, which is a type of trick that you can do because, once again, Team Cherry messed something up in the code, so we're going to abuse that. What it means is that we can hit like gates with levers blocking our path. We can hit them from the unintended side. So we can hit them from the side that we should not be able to go through by reaching the lever through walls or floors in different ways. And the main one that we're going to be abusing is using the dash slash ability or nail arts, which is, it has like a really long range. So we're going to use that to get the Shade Soul ability without even needing to do the fights or get the key at all. So we can get it quite early as we rush on our way to Soul Sanctum. But that's gonna be one of the main uses. And of course there's the one in the Watcher's Spire that you've probably seen before in other runs, where we use it to skip a little segment where we have to fight a guy or like a guard, and it loses about a minute.
And that's the main difference between this run and the run on current patch, which also has a tournament going at the same time, is that in current patch there's no lever skips because Team Cherry fixed their mistakes.
Exactly. So in current patch, you would have to actually get the key and the geo for that before you even get Shade Soul. So the routing is quite different. Like, unlike most categories. Valley missing the double spike, getting one and getting a relatively clean up.
Yeah, if you get that nice cleanup, then you're not losing that much time to the double spike, which is pretty fortunate.
So what both runners were trying to do with there was hit a stalactite falling from the ceiling at an angle, so that it flew through and killed both of the aspids that spawned into the arena. And they have like it's quite a precise trick. They have quite a tight lineup to do. And it's not too uncommon to miss it, and it only loses like 3 seconds if you handle it properly. And they're both on their way. Dynamite's unfortunately missing the statue pogo, but gets a nice backup with the Vengefly that was there.
Yes, so both runners are going now to the first thing in the game. If you've seen pretty much any speedrun, they all have the same beginning, going and getting Vengeful Spirit to get out of the Forgotten Crossroads and into Green Path. So both runners are going to be following this path, which should be pretty consistent for both of them.
Yeah, once you do a bit of this fight, you're going to see a dev-intended shortcut that allows you to skip the rest of it. So what you're going to be seeing is after they knock the boss down the first time, they're going to line themselves up with the wall and break it, because the game just lets you do that, and they can just stroll on out without having to finish the fight. So it's a bit of a time save. And if you're wondering why we do that, and the fact that we will not be picking up the city crests, we're going to be getting to the City of Tears in a very different way, abusing another game mechanic, which is a theme that is quite common in speedruns.
And I think Dynamite neglected to put on the load normalizer, which has also been a common theme in this tournament. But hopefully that's what the first round is for, getting all the kinks out of the system, and hopefully having everything set up all right for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter too much. It's just like a visual thing. So the load normalizer is a thing that makes sure that all of our loads are equally long. I think it's set to 2 seconds. It's just to make the viewing experience better, since the timer like filters away the load time in the speedrun. So Valley has himself a bit of a lead here, but that can all change pretty quickly.
Yes,
And
definitely in this run.
they now have the first ability of the game, the Vengeful Spirit, which is both like a tool and a combat weapon, I guess. Mainly the latter, but you're going to be seeing it used in quite an interesting way. So the Vengeful Spirit takes 33 soul to use, and the soul is what you see in the meter at the top. You see there it had the little circle, and it fills up by increments of 11 when you use your nail to slash at an enemy. So there's kind of this mechanic that you have to kind of balance, like going close up and then using your spells. And you can also use your soul to focus, which pretty much heals you. It also costs just as much as a spell. And they're on their way to the second area of the game called Green Path,
Which we were talking about before.
Yeah, in which you will be seeing the first little, how do I put this, the creative usage of the Vengeful Spirits in a set of skips called Fireball skips. And what those are is pretty much us using the backwards propulsion that the Vengeful Spirit spell uses, like that it causes when you like use it, to push themselves back and do longer jumps. You're gonna see Valley attempt it here, jumping, turning around at the axis at the peak of their jump, and then firing a fireball to push themselves back slightly, which gives them a bit of more jump distance that they normally wouldn't be able to do. There are 3 of them in this area.
Mm-hmm. And it's good to see both runners get the first one. I wouldn't say it's a difficult trick, but it's definitely one that you can mess up very easily if you're not paying close enough attention.
Yeah, fireball skips are quite finicky, especially when you're just starting out. It took me quite a while to get used to them personally, and I still do mess them up on like pretty regularly. Dyenamite gets the second one quite neatly. That's good to see. And Valley gets it as well. Very nice. That one is the one that kind of is the worst if you mess it up. It does have a backup by using an enemy to nail bounce or pogo on, which does give you a little bit of height, but it loses a bit of time. Dyenamite attempts the second one, but doesn't get it. They're gonna have to do a short little detour here to go around the intentional way.
Valley does end up getting it.
Yeah.
He misses the detour as well. This is minor time loss, nothing too crazy in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but, it's fine. This can all flip later. We'll see how it ends up being. Valley seems to have around a 30-second lead over Dyenamite right now, as they're going into this first Moss Knight arena. And we're going to the second boss of the game, and the first one we actually fight to the end, called Hornets, which will give us our dash ability, which is going to be quite useful. It'll make us a lot faster, allow us to have a bit more control in combats, and it will let us into the third area of the game called the Fungal Wastes, which we will get the Wall Cling ability, which is pretty much the last main ability of the game. And it is what opens up almost the entire kingdom for us to explore.
Yep. So we're going to see the runners take on the 2 Moss Knights now, which shouldn't be too much of a problem for both of them, and make their way to Hornet, which is I'd say the first real thing that differentiates good runners and really good runners is their boss fights. And we're going to see, hopefully, a very good boss fight from both of them.
Yeah. And the reason they got those 2 Moss Knights that you saw them just pick up is because we need Geo. Geo is the number you see in the top left along with the health and soul. And it is pretty much the game's currency. And we need it for a couple of things. Mainly stag stations, which are fast travel points. And also tolls and a bench toll, which unlocks a bench, which are the game's save points. And the benches are going to be quite important because they work as save points, but like that means we can warp back to them. You're going to be seeing Valley just quit out after getting the dash ability, and so does Dyenamite. This will spawn you back at the bench when you load back into your save, while the game still saves both, like it saves all of the progression you made up to that point. So we can pretty much use it to warp back to places a lot faster, so we don't have to backtrack as much, which is going to make it a very important tool. The quit outs are going to be used quite heavily in this speedrun and most other speedruns as well.
Yeah, so as Chad said, about a 50-second time difference right now. And that's basically just due to movement and some benches that Dynamite has taken. Nothing, there hasn't been any major mistakes.
The fireball skip. The second one.
Oh, and the fireball skip, yep.
No, sorry, the third one. I can't think. So you're going to be seeing a lot of inventory drop usage from both of them. Pretty much just to fall through this long room faster. Did I see Valley go for the static slash there? I might have. I don't know. I wasn't looking too properly. They're both getting themselves some soul. They're going to need to get a bit more geo here. So there are a couple of rocks that they're going to hit on the way. Just do a bit of a short little detour for that, to just make sure that they have enough for all the stuff that they need. The main geo requirement that you're going to be seeing coming forth is, first of all, Shaman Stone, which is the most powerful charm in the game. The charms are like equipables that you can use to enhance your loadout and make yourself more powerful in different ways. And Shaman Stone is one that upgrades the damage of your spells, which are going to be our main damage outputs in the runs.
Now we're going to be seeing both runners go for a trick called E-Pogo, which you pogo on the explosion of those little sporg things. Both of them get it.
Both get it very neatly. Nice.
Yeah. No damage tanks
right here in this room is the wall cling ability called Mantis Claw. Valley is going for a setup strat with the mantises to pogo up very neatly. He gets it, and Dynamite didn't quite get the manipulation, but managed to get up anyway, so that's good.
So as Blue was saying before, the second thing that both runners are going to be using their geo for is the upgrade that we were talking about before called Dash Slash, which allows them to do lever skips in places where they weren't able to in the first place.
It has a very, very long range, so we're going to use that to do a couple lever skips throughout the runs. Mainly this one to get Shade Soul very early, which is normally an ability that you would get very late. It's an upgrade to the Vengeful Spirits, and it lets you have a very, very high damage output. Especially if you can get the Fireball to double hit enemies. It's going to deal double damage with just the same cast. And they are going to be making their way to Salubra, the charm merchants, I guess. And they're going to be buying Shaman Stone to further enhance the power of their spells. And from there, they're going to be doing a very, very, very major sequence break in this game called the Shade Skip to Blue Lake, which is an area that you normally would not and should not be able to access. But the Hollow Knight game has sort of a corpse run mechanic, where if you die, it spawns this enemy called the Shade that you need to kill to get your money back and to repair your soul vessel. And since this is an enemy, it means we can use our nail or our sword in a very creative way and use it to bounce on them and get some extra momentum or like heights. So we can reach areas that we wouldn't be able to otherwise.
Yep, and chat is asking for Blue's best Dash Slash Axe to You impression. So,
Dash Slash.
Beautiful. Truly what the people want. And the little mechanic that you guys just saw there with the gate is called Walkling Storage, and it's when you dash into an opening gate, you keep your walkling state and keep going forward faster than you normally would, which is
yeah, pretty much the game doesn't realize that you are not wall-clinging anymore, because like the wall hitbox disappears as you're dashing into it. So it keeps your wall-cling states and it also keeps your dash momentum stuck in that walkling state, so you go zoom very quickly on the wall.
Ooh, Valley gets
non-existent
a fireball there, which is a little unfortunate, but he makes a good recovery.
And that is the shade skip. They both did it quite neatly. Valley unfortunately got a fireball, as Erdo said, but
And
managed to...
Now they're going to be going into an area called Blue Lake, named after my co-commentator here.
Oh my. Yeah, they're on their way to get the Dream Nail, which is an ability that we are required to get to be able to finish the game.
I don't know. Not in this run. They don't get Dream Nail yet.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Blue has his any percent muscle memory.
I've been running a lot of True Ending.
Or True Ending muscle memory there. The true bane of all runners is muscle memory from other runs.
Yeah, so they're going into the City of Tears now, and by that shade skip, we were able to get to the right side of the City of Tears. It's normally divided into two sections, where the right side is a lot later in the run.
Talking Dyenamite, about any percent muscle memory, Dyenamite is just realizing now that he doesn't need to get the Geo from that room. It's no big deal. Extra Geo is always nice.
It might actually be them going for an alternative to the hoppers.
That is true.
Getting a bit more Geo here instead of down by the hoppers, because the hoppers can be quite finicky if you get off the strategy for killing them. And there's a couple primal aspids just roaming about. So if you're not confident in handling them, getting that Geo instead is actually quite a good idea. And I believe that used to be the old route before they figured out a strategy for the hoppers. Mm-hmm. And they're now going to Gorgeous Husk, which is this giant little, or not little, rich little husk. Or not little, I cannot speak today.
Very large.
Very large.
And gorgeous.
It gives them a lot of Geo, which they're gonna be using it to buy Dash Slash, of course. And now they only need a tiny bit more, which they're gonna get from the hoppers, as I mentioned before. So they're heading down to the Kingdom's Edge, which is the area to the right of here. They're gonna be going through this little secret path under this water here. And they're gonna be getting the Dash Slash from Nailmaster. Is it Oro? Is Oro the one with Dash Slash? I think it is, right?
No,
because Mato is the one in Howling Cliffs, and Shio is the Paint Master. Yeah, yes. It's Oro. It is Oro. So they're just making their way.
Least favorite.
They're just making their way down here. Dyenamite gets the hoppers. These ones have a lot of Geo on them. And Dyenamite now has enough. They need 800 Geo.
Valley needs
and now they're just going to be making their way through. Valley needs the second row because he didn't get the Geo earlier. And he gets it quite neatly. So they're just dashing their way to Nailmaster Oro to get Dash Slash. And then they're going to quit out and use the bench that they benched in King Station to be able to go back there.
No problem with primal aspids, from either of them, which is good to say. Those things can definitely get annoying if you stick around in one area too long.
Yeah, they both got through it pretty neatly. Valley buying the Dash Slash, and Dyenamite has already gotten it as well. So they will be both quitting out, and then they will be on their way to Soul Sanctum, and they're gonna get the Shade Soul on the way. Using Dash Slash.
Neither racer bowing before they quit out. Just a detail. They're choosing optimal strats, of course, over Flare, which is to be expected in a race setting.
It's okay. The Nailmasters understand. They have patience. They get that. There's no time. They're on a very important mission to save Hollow Nest, and of course the Nailmasters are gonna understand that, just as Elderbug did when they didn't talk to them. And they're just gonna be dashing their way through the City of Tears on their way to Soul Sanctum, and they're gonna be doing the first major lever skip right here. They're gonna be hitting this lever through the floor right there. Dyenamite does it pretty neatly. Valley's on his way to do it himself, gets it nicely, And for some reason, since we hit the lever and go through the top of that room, you don't actually interact with the light trigger, so the room just stays dark. So it's on them to make sure that they know where to go.
And you see the first use of a dash slash from Dynamite right there. So just now that you know what it looks like, if you've never seen it before.
Pretty much that dash slash they just did is just to make sure that they can hit the lever from a tiny bit further away. That's not like a lever skip or anything. So they're getting into Soul Sanctum. This area has like a lot of RNG. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. The enemies that you're seeing them tackle right now are called Soul Twisters, and they like to teleport around randomly.
And
Dynamite,
usually right into you, if they can.
Yeah. Dynamite gets the lever skip. Like just like that, you jump up to the top. This is patched on current patch. They actually put the rooms in completely separate, or they put the lever and the gates in completely separate rooms to make sure that this wasn't possible anymore. And they're both getting the Shade Soul ability. Now their spell is going to do twice as much damage as before, and it's going to be very, very powerful. It's going to have a larger hitbox, which is going to be quite useful for double hits, which we're going to see the runners go for quite a lot, since it's going to allow them to do double the damage with just one spell.
You see Dynamite getting kind of screwed over by RNG.
Here's another lever skip there with the dash slash, hitting it through the wall. They're going to be fighting this the Soul Warrior. It's going to die very, very quickly since they have Shade Soul. I believe it's 4 nail hits and 2 double hits with Shade Soul. I might be incorrect on that. Valley gets it quite quickly. Dynamite was a bit more unlucky. And let's see this Sanctum RNG. This room is the worst one, with the Soul Twisters teleporting around seemingly at random. See there, it's blocking Valley's path. Dynamite is on 2 HP, which is a bit worrying, seeing as anything can happen for Soul Master. Valley is on a comfortable...
Yes. He decides to heal
HP.
up, which is probably the smarter idea.
Yeah. It's going to lose them a bit more time on the Soul Master fight, seeing as you can use those Soul Vessels or those Soul containers in the fight by strategically fireballing them once the fight begins, as you're going to see valignatev do. And they're both starting the fights. They're going to be wanting to get double hits here, and hopefully the boss can cooperate. There are ways to kind of know where the boss is going to teleport, and if you have that knowledge, you can kind of line up so that the boss teleports into fireballs. They both got the first phase down. They're going to start the second phase. They're both on quite a comfy 4 HP for this, which should be fine.
Yeah, there should not be any surprises in the second. Saying that now, there might be, but there should be no surprises here from both runners.
We could get a lot of fake dives, which would be... Oh, Valley going for some swag strats. Oh my. Very, very impressive from valignatev. Getting quite a consistent strategy there. And Dynamite getting the boss to stop diving. Getting some nice RNG there.
And looking over in chat, thank you, Axe to you, for the raid. Hope you all enjoy the race.
Alright, so we're gonna see here. They're both picking up the Descending Dive, or Desolate Dive, that's what it's called. The Desolate Dive ability, which we're going to be using for a couple of crumbly floors that we can break through. It's just another, like, progression item, Metroidvania progression item, which also gives a lot of invincibility frames. So once we get the upgraded version of that, we are going to use it in combat quite a lot. You can see the main example of this when we get to Watcher Knights, which almost everyone considers quite a difficult fight. You're gonna see these runners not struggle as much as you perhaps would imagine. It's quite a big contrast to a category like any percent, where we have almost nothing going up to Watcher Knights. Here we have quite an easy way of killing them very rapidly.
Which is satisfying, to say the least, for any percent runners all around the world.
Yeah. So they're both on their way to King's Station now. They're going to want 300 Geo, so they're going to have to get a bit more on the way. but there are quite a lot of enemies, and they have Shade Souls, so they can kill them very rapidly. So yeah, they're gonna be dashing their way to King Station. They're gonna take a bench at Watcher's Spire on the way, just so that they can quit out after this very long segment without a bench, after going through the entirety of Crystal Peaks and getting Dream Nail, so that they can return and do Watcher Nights and move on from there. So Dyenamite and valignatev both on the way to this bench, and from here on out, they're gonna be wanting to not take any damage at all.
Yeah, this is a very, very tight section health-wise. There's not that many places where you get a lot of soul, and there are a lot of places where you can lose a lot of health very quickly.
That's a very good way to put it.
We were talking about it before with the, this is a major place you can lose a lot of time if you die too. Almost like, how long is this split? It's...
This entire section has to be around maybe 5 minutes in total.
Yeah, so if you die at the very end of it, you go all the way back to the start, which is scary to say the least in a tournament setting.
None of them going for impossible jump. They're right here at King Station now, so they're gonna want to buy this.
Dynamite's giving us some wiggle.
Dynamite doesn't go for the scurry look down.
Instead, he wiggles for us, which is
instead, yeah,
different strategy.
Respectful. I respect the wiggles.
Always.
So they're going now to Dirtmouth, and they're gonna want to dash all the way to Crystal Peaks from here. And as we both mentioned, this section is gonna be quite difficult. Crystal Peaks has a lot of tight cycles that you need to make, and we're gonna have to go through quite a bit of the area, because once we get Crystal Hearts, we are not done. We want to get to the Descending Dark pickup, which is still in Crystal Peaks, and it's going to require us to do a room in the darkness since we don't have the Lumifly Lantern yet.
Which there are some pretty comfortable strats for that room, and I think it'll be interesting to see which strats both runners are going to use for the dark room.
Or not that we will see much at all, but you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the bad pun.
It's amazing.
My gosh.
Now we get to say hi to everyone's least favorite NPC, Myla.
Apparently Valley said that they were gonna kill Myla, which I very much disapprove of.
And I very much approve of.
So we're gonna be seeing. Are we gonna be seeing Dynamite go for Pogax? I think we are.
Oh no.
No, they were not. I respect it. It's quite a safe choice,
especially with the whatever those things are called. Being on the other side, it's pretty smart to go the other way. Otherwise, you'll have to tank a lot more health.
Valley goes for Pogax and gets it quite neatly. The miner cooperated quite a bit. It's gonna be a pretty nice time save for him.
And this room that they're going through now, they're both going through now, is very cycles based. And if you can catch up to how these guys are running, it will be very good. Ooh, 2 health gone from Dynamite. It's not too worrying yet, but he has to be definitely a little more careful.
Valley goes for the damageless key room fast strat. Unfortunately, doesn't get it and takes a hit. They're both on 3 and 4 HP, which should be fine. It's a bit tight. They might want to heal once, especially Dynamite, unless they go for damageless cycle, which I'm assuming they're both gonna do, but who knows, maybe one of them hasn't practiced it or something. Dynamite, so let's see what kind of cycle they're going for. They're going for the fast cycle, or no, they're going for damageless, and they unfortunately missed the cycle, which is going to be a pretty significant time loss, around maybe 5 to 10 seconds. It's unfortunate. Valley goes for damageless cycle and gets it quite nicely.
Dynamite grabbing a little extra soul, which is probably smart.
Probably a good call. I haven't seen
Hey, underplat. There we go. That's what we like to see.
Valley going for underplat. Nice. All right. So they both have Crystal Heart now, and they're going to be making their way to the Descending Dark in the Crystallized Mound. And you're going to see a room with a lot of crushers, which can be quite tight to to get through. Sometimes you mess it up and you kind of get stuck there. And then after that, we're not done. There's a dark room, and now we're gonna see these runners' true colors to see if they save the grub or not. This grub is pretty much right in your path. Ooh, that's an unfortunate damage tank by Dyenamite.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta take your time with these crushers because they can be very annoying.
All right, they got through it. Let's see. Does Valley say? Valley.
Ooh,
Okay.
Valley,
Oh my god!
us.
Playing with my heart
Keeping
like
us,
that. How
keeping
could
us
you
in
do
suspense
this?
for as long as possible?
My gosh! Don't do that ever again, Valley.
But,
you had me there for a second.
Both.
Ooh, that's
in the
gonna be a
dark
tough
room
situation for
very
Dyenamite.
unfortunate.
Uh-oh. Ooh, this is scary. They're on 1 HP in a dark room. Uh-oh. Okay, they got
Whoa,
through it.
sheesh.
Ooh, that is very scary. That is
Yeah.
quite lucky for them that they managed to get through that. If they died there, that would have been a very, very significant time loss. That would have been maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Valley goes for the damage tank strats, in which you can get a dash slash and store your dash momentum, slide off the platform, take a hazard respawn, and get control of your character early, and leave the room. And it also looks kind of cool because you go slide on the ground, and that's fun, and I like that.
And Dyenamite finishes the rest of Mound. No health lost. Could have been very close if he got knocked off the edge by one of the.
Dyenamite
crystallized.
goes for the hazard tank strat as well, gets it quite neatly, and now has the Sending Dark. They're both on their way to Dreamnail. There's it looks like there is about a 3-minute difference between the runners. This could all turn later.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've both been playing well. There's been no big mistakes from either runner. Valley just has very good movement, which is expected.
If Dyenamite is on, if Dynamite's PB is around an hour, this could be a pretty nice PB pace for them.
Absolutely. So now
Valley
we're seeing the most
Dream
tricky
Plats.
room in the game in any percent.
I hate Dream Plats.
Up.
Now the question is, does he go for the under platform? Yes, he does. Very nice.
We'd love
No
to see
falls
the
there. I don't like the Dream Plats. I think I'm quite known for falling a lot on them.
I don't think anyone's ever safe from dream platforms. When you least expect it, they'll come and get you.
Even if you expect it. I go in every time expecting to fall, and I still do.
It really is the. It's gonna give me heart problems later in life. That's all I have to say about it.
All right, they both got through it without falling once. That's very nice. And Dyenamite finally gets to breathe out and get back to full health once again. Once they quit out here.
Very impressive.
Very scary segment there.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed that that is not easy to do on 1 and 2 HP, especially in a tournament.
Yeah,
Death there is
that is a very impressive recovery from them. So valignatev going into the Watcher Knights fights. Now you're gonna see what we were talking about before.
Oh, so excited!
They're pretty much gonna stand up and just die instantly.
Yeah, maybe take a breath or two and then they're gone.
So Valley going in with two quick dives and 2 nail hits and a fireball, and the Watcher is dropped dead on the ground. And what he tackles the next 2 in the same way, spams 3 dives, and just cleans up the one that he couldn't manage to get all too quickly because it moved away. So this is pretty much what the All Skills Watcher Knights fight looked like. It's quite nice comparing to other categories and
very different
casual
from
playthroughs.
Any percent and God save low percent. That fight is definitely something special.
All right, Dyenamite started their Watcher Knights fight as well. Got the first one quite cleanly. and start spamming dives. The way that we can do this on 1.2.2.1 is that the dive invulnerability frames, they weren't really fixed yet. So if you time your dives well, you can be fully invincible as long as you keep spamming them. Which is how you saw these runners just spam dives on top of the boss over and over again. And dive, I believe, does about 80 damage. Ooh, that's a bit scary for Dynamite. Takes a strategic heal.
I don't think this one has much health though, but I could be wrong.
It does have quite a lot. I could see that heal being quite of a riskier play than just playing aggressively, but it worked out, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
And Dynamite's on their way to the first Dreamer as well. Seems to be doing a slightly different geo routing here, getting the geo chest before Lurian rather than after, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. If you get it after, you can charge your C-dash to get out of the room while collecting geo, but it's not too big of a deal.
Yeah, it doesn't make too much of a difference. It's like a small...
So, Valley specifically asked me to talk about during the Watcher Night elevator climb that he wants everyone to realize that banning Televator was a bad idea. So, Televator is a glitch that allows you to go instantly up elevators, and Valley just wanted me to say that he wants it back in the game. So,
hashtag legalized Televator 2021.
Hashtag free Televator 2021. So,
although I disagree, though, I think it should stay banned. It feels quite major to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that sentiment. But it is a pretty cool trick, and it looks very cool, but it definitely does feel more major than not.
All right, so Valley going on their way to the Isthmus tier pickup.
A lot of
he's going to be doing quite an interesting spikes tunnel skip here to skip fighting the Dung Defender. That one is quite precise, and he got it first try, which is very neat.
So this split has
it's going to be... Oh, sorry.
So yeah. So this split has 3 pretty difficult skips in a row. You're going to see the first one. You already saw the first one. That's the second one, and the third one coming up right here. All in succession, and you need to do it all with the same health, which
Gets all 3 very, very cleanly. That's looking very nice from Valley. And gets the Whurmp early control as well by taking a hit by that Whurmp. And now Valley is on his way to Broken Vessel. And Dynamite is just now making their way down to Isthmus tier, following what Valley just did. And we're going to see how those skips end up looking for them. They are quite precise, and even experienced runners do mess them up occasionally. Ooh, takes a hazard dunk there. Takes a bit of a fall. It's all right. The skips are quite tricky.
Yeah.
So
that was I don't think I've ever seen that before. He hit the spike sideways. Yeah.
Ooh. It's looking a bit unfortunate for Dynamite, but they can probably clean this up.
May take a breather.
They're doing Pogo a bit too early. But they could potentially get this back. It's looking quite scary here on 1 HP.
There is a place to recover HP in the next room, but
they got it on the last HP. Dynamite is just really scaring us today with these 1 HP plays. It's quite scary. They're probably gonna go for the blurg. Is that what they're called? Blurg sacks? I think it is.
The Egu containers.
The Egu containers. You can actually dream nail this for infinite soul, which is quite a good idea if you end up on low HP coming into this segment. So you can just heal up to full there and make sure that you're all good on health. And Valley is now going down to Broken Vessel, going through the what are they called? They're called the I cannot think. The Monarchs, and they can be quite rude with their RNG, as you just saw.
I didn't know that you could dash under that. That's pretty interesting.
Valley is on 1 HP. This is looking quite scary for him. Both of these runners are just really scaring us today. Some of these projectiles are really, really close. But Valley manages to get the heals out. And Dynamite,
do you know if that corner is safe or no? He gets a weird walkling storage there. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but
I think that one's consistent.
Yeah, that one is...
Dynamite got through the Isthmus skips as well, which is nice, and is now making their way to Ancient Basin and the Broken Vessel as well. Let's see what kind of fight Valley gets, and let's see what kind of RNG Dynamite gets on the C-Dash. Gets through very neatly with the RNG on those. And valignatev starting the Broken Vessel fights. What Valley's going to be looking for here is the headbang attack, in which he can just spam dive. Contrary to most other categories where we don't have dive at this point. Or maybe that's just true ending. I run too much true ending.
So another thing he's going to be looking for is fireball doubles, which are very big if he's not. Ooh, unfortunate that he started.
Staggers out of the that attack. Gets the fight though. Maybe the RNG wasn't too favorable, but Valley managed to handle the RNG quite well. Goes for a swag C-dash from the other side of the room. You love to see it. Very nice.
We do love to see it. And now we see Dynamite entering the area at the same time. And the whole point of this all was to get the wings.
Yeah,
so
the
allow you to double jump.
Or double jump, pretty much. We don't actually need it anywhere in this run for moving around. We just have to pick it up because of the all skills requirement of this category. That's like the whole point of the category.
Yep.
Ooh, Dynamite on 1 HP.
Scaring us once again.
Yeah, they're on 3 now. They should be fine, hopefully. Takes a hit there due to RNG. Very unfortunate. Does
choose to grab soul from him though, which is smart.
I wonder if they're gonna open the shortcut in case they die, because they are only on 2 HP. They decide not to go for the shortcuts. Ooh. I hope they don't die.
Yeah. We appreciate the guts.
And Valley is now making his way to the hidden station to be able to go back to the King station and go to fight Hornet 2, because we need King's Brand to get into the Abyss. And from the Abyss we need both Shade Cloak and Abyss Shriek as the category's requirements. So it's going to be required later, and we have that segment now because it's just convenient since we're coming out of a stag.
Yep.
So Valley is making his way into Kingdom's Edge once again, as Dynamite finishes off the Broken Vessel fight quite neatly. They didn't die, they didn't even get low on HP this time, so that was very nice. And they're on their way to pick up the Monarch Wings as well.
Yep, and Valley's going over here to fight Hornet 2, one of the harder bosses in the run for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely the hardest fight.
Yeah, definitely the hardest fight. Moves very fast. We'll see if he picks up the safety bench. He does not pick up the safety bench.
Valley is quite experienced with this and many other categories, so I think he should be fine. Hopefully, I very much hope so. Because sometimes, like even for experienced runners, Hornets can just be very mean.
Yeah.
You know, she's one of those siblings that tends to play quite rough. And that's sometimes she parries your fireballs. If you have siblings, you can relate to when your siblings parry your fireballs when you try to beat them up.
Some things to look for.
Saying?
So some things to look for in this fight, again, is the double fireballs. Those do a very large amount of damage. And also Hornet's parry mechanic, which basically means that you don't do any damage to her while she's parrying. And she also swings her nail in retaliation, or whatever she's using. This is very bad if you hit a fireball ladder and she parries it. So we'll be looking at that for this fight.
We might actually want to switch. Actually, no. Valley's audio is not too. We wouldn't want to have Valley's audio because he's ahead, but there seems to be a bit of a problem with it, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
All right, Valley finishes off the Hornets fight, gets King's Brand quite neatly, and now we're gonna see if he goes and invalidates his run or not by messing up the early control or not. So there's a trick called the Nail Art early control we can do here coming out of this cutscene. in which if you do it too early, you get controlled while your character is invisible and it invalidates your run. It would be a bit of a penalty in this instead of just invalidating it. And he does not invalidate his run, which is quite nice.
And now we're going to see Dynamite also going for Hornet 2.
Dynamite's opted to take the safety bench, which is probably a good call in a tournament setting. It's only a minor time loss. And if you die, it's going to save you a lot of time. And Valley is now on his way back to King Station to be able to stag all the way to Dirtmouth and go up and get Cyclone Slash through King's Pass. So let's see what Dynamite's Hornet 2 fight look like. Hopefully, it's not too mean. And they got the first stagger. This is now where you can kind of start getting double hits and all that. Hornet is being very rude with a lot of parries here. It's not quite what kind of RNG you want to see. So we're hoping
that is unfortunate. Yeah,
we're hoping the luck turns for Dynamite here. Yeah, we're getting a lot of parries.
Yeah, that is definitely some bad RNG. But he's definitely taking the fight well, which is...
Yeah, for sure. They're handling it quite decently. Like, it's very easy when you get, like, a lot of parries to accidentally be fireballing as she parries into you. Nice finishes out the fights, does some wiggles, and is on their way to be able to pick up the King's Brand. This Valley is on his way up to the Howling Cliffs.
Back to King's Pass and grabbing the Cyclone Slash from the second Nailmaster.
This is the better way of returning to King's Pass in the speedrun.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. As much as we do love our resets, this is definitely better.
Is Dynamite going for the early control? They are not. They decided to play it safe and not go for it. I can respect that. Mm-hmm. And Valley picks up the Cyclone Slash, which is the second nail art we'll see in this run. It pretty much lets your knight do like a little spinny blow and hit multiple times around itself.
Yeah, current patch grabs it earlier because it can help them drop faster, but this patch has little need for it, so they grab it pretty late in the run. For anything except for wiggles, they don't have to use it much. So now we see Dynamite following suit, and Valley using the Cyclone Slash to not have to take a hard fall there, which is nice.
Yeah, there are quite a couple instances of different nail art early control strategies that we use. Actually, funny enough, you're going to be seeing one of each nail art being used on that same well. The first time when we were going to Crystal Peaks, we used Dash Slash. Now we're using Cyclone, and on the third one, we'll use Great Slash when we're going to the Hollow Knights. And Valley on his way to Umu, using some Cyclones in places where he isn't able to inventory drop because you want to be moving at the same time. That's actually quite useful. I have not really thought of that, and that's something that I'm going to be picking up for my own runs after watching this, because it's a little small time save, so it's quite useful. And Valley's going to be looking to get a one-cycle Umu kill here, using a strategy where we knock Umu strategically into a wall, out of bounds, to be able to get double hits with our fireball without Umu flying into a platform and stopping. So if he does it correctly, he can get the one cycle barely, and if he messes it up, he's gonna have to do a second Umu cycle. So let's see what kind of Umu patterns he ends up getting. And Umu could also just give you a lot of bad RNG. Could also just
something else in this run that is very RNG dependent is Umu, much like a lot of the run, to be honest, and a lot of Hollow Knight in general.
Like on this setup, like saving an extra attack, because Umu can randomly give an extra attack, because why not? Ooh, Valley gets an extra attack. That is very unlucky.
Ooh, and
he is now on 1 HP.
Ooh, this is...
This is looking quite scary. And doesn't get the one cycle, unfortunately. Very, very unlucky for valignatev getting the Umu extra attack. And Dyenamite is now on their way to fight Umu as well. Valley uses his Dream Nail to get soul from Umu.
Very scary. He was very close right there, but I have confidence that he will be fine.
Decides to play it aggressively. And gets Umu on the second cycle, barely. That was very, very well played from Valley, even though they missed the one cycle. Gets a cool Walkling storage strat. That is very neat.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever seen that before. That was very cool. So, yeah, even
Valley's
to this
gonna
day, cool new strats are being found.
Valley's gonna be getting Monomon here, the second Dreamer, and then they're gonna be leaving the archives and going up to Nailmaster Shio to be able to get the final nail arts called Great Slash, which is pretty much what it says. It's like a Great Slash, just a large attack.
Yep, and then we are going to be going into Queen's Gardens.
On the way, we're going to be getting the Howling Wraiths, which is our third spell, the Upward spell. Just so that we can pick that up. We have to go to the Overgrown Mound.
Looks like Dyenamite's just going to be doing
I wonder what setup Dyenamite's doing.
Yeah, a normal looking setup for a 2-cycle. Or not.
Or not. Interesting. It's not quite the 1-cycle. They might just be improvising.
Yeah, it looks like just an improvisation, whatever, improv.
Yeah, that should still be a pretty safe 2-cycle for them.
Yep.
As long as they can get some Dream Nails in here on Umu while they aren't able to be attacked.
For sure. Valley grabbing this bench, so he's able to warp back to it. And barely gets
barely. That was quite scary. I thought they were gonna have to do a 3-cycle, but they got it quite neatly. And they're now dropping down and getting Monomon just as Valley did a couple seconds ago. Valley is now doing some movements on the way up to Green Path again to go to Shio, and Dyenamite is gonna be following along and doing the same thing very soon. Valley gets the airwalk there to be able to do a second dash in the air. It's a little bit of a glitch that we can use in some spots. And now you're going to be seeing just a bit of movement sections from both of the runners. They're like the tournament restream is quite synced up, so you're going to be seeing almost the same segments going on for both of them. Just that Valley is a bit ahead in both regards to the actual run and like the restream.
These couple minutes coming forward for Valley and Dyenamite are going to be very movement based. Their movement skills very important in this run. I'd say more than a lot of different runs. Movement is very important, and we're going to see some cool strats hopefully out of both of them. And now we see Valley going to get Great Slash, hopefully not hitting that big spike thing that has plagued so many casual runners.
Yeah, alright.
And
Valley remembers to cancel the C-dash before going through the room transition, and has now picked up the Great Slash ability. And Dyenamite is now on the way to Green Path as well to do the very same thing. Valley's now going to be going kind of in the same direction at the beginning, but then veering off to the left and going to the Overgrown Mound and towards the entrance to the Queen's Gardens, which we're going to be seeing another lever skip with dash slash to enter. Because normally you would need to go either from behind or have Shade Cloak to get through that entrance. Valley goes for the RNG C-dash and gets it. Nice. Sometimes that jellyfish can be quite rude in the way that it spawns, and you can get hit for 2 damage while moving through the room.
Yep, and they're going to be going this way, which is another near acid. I wouldn't say skip, just shortcut, if you will, to go up and get here pretty early.
All right, so Valley enters the overgrown mound. This is going to be a bit of a combat arena against a bunch of mosquitoes, or squits as they're called. And there are quite a lot of different ways to tackle this. I don't actually know which one is the fastest. It might be the one I'm thinking of, the one that Valley seems to be going for. And he gets all the setups quite neatly, and accidentally takes a damage tank there on that mosquito on the
not
way
the
to
end of the world.
raids. Yeah.
Damage health here is pretty tight, but not quite as tight as the crystal heart
or crystals.
Yeah.
Crystal Peak
Crystal
section.
Dynamite forgets to cancel his C-dash, unfortunately, takes a hit, but he's gonna be quitting out soon, so doesn't really matter too much.
Valley is now going into the Queen's Gardens, not really for anything in the Queen's Gardens itself, just because it's the fastest way to get to Deep Nests, and we want to get to Hera the Beast, the third dreamer of the game. And then after that, Valley's going to be going into the Abyss and picking up the Shade Cloak in Abyss Shriek, and then we're going to be seeing the end of the run with the Hollow Knight boss fights. So that's what you're going to be seeing here in the near future for both runners.
Yep, and
so Valley's going to be doing a hazard respawn strat just by abusing the way the hazard respawn zones are located right here. So he's going to be taking a damage tank right there and going to spawn on the underside and get to this lever a bit quicker. And
he's
now
going to be going through. Yep, Valley's going to be going through these rooms pretty cleanly. They're definitely strats that have been established for all these pretty difficult rooms coming up. And at the same time, Dynamite's going to be entering not Crystallized Mound, Overgrown Mound.
Yeah. Now that you might remember a bit of a detail about this run, we never actually got the Lumifly Lantern, which means you're going to be seeing 3 dark rooms from Valley right here. And yeah, I know that Valley has these quite locked in. It shouldn't be a problem for them, but who knows? Sometimes you get an unlucky hazard respawn. And the thing with dark rooms is that if you take a hazard respawn, you always spawn at the beginning of the room again,
which is definitely unfortunate.
It could be quite a big time loss if you mess up in these rooms. Valley gets through the first 2 ones quite neatly.
Now this is the most difficult one.
Now going through the last one.
Yep.
And not that you can see much, but Valley got through it. Took a heart, or took a hit there, which was quite unfortunate. It's going to be a bit scary here with the Devouts.
Yes, he does not get his health back here because, one, you don't get it back from the bench, and he won't be taking the bench here. He's going to be going up. Little shortcut, if you've never seen it. You could actually go all the way up through here.
I think Valley might be healing here, because going against the Devouts, even though you can kill it quickly, if it just walks into you, then you're dead.
Nope.
Oh, he goes for the Shade Soul strat. That's a good idea.
And Dynamite using the hazard respawn.
And now Valley's through the other difficult section here. I'm back on full HP, so it's going to be pretty comfy here. And Dynamite is now making their way into Deep Nest again, or once again, what you just saw Valley doing. And is now moving through this long room. The difference between the runners seems to be around 6.5 minutes or so. I might be wrong on that, actually.
Yeah, there are still a couple places.
Actually, that's not how you compare times at all. Hold on, I'm being dumb.
No, yeah.
Dynamite takes.
I think it might actually be more
to that run, or to that room. And Valley is now gonna be going to the distant village. Stag has barely enough geo, 256, and you need 250 for the Stag station. And he's going to be going to Distant Village.
At the same time, we're going to be seeing some dark rooms out of Dynamite, where he drops off the first one.
Ooh, that's quite scary there.
Definitely scary.
They got interrupted from their C-dash. They
pause.
All right, maybe just like wiping their hands or something. Probably a good idea. Can get quite nervous
too far. There's
here.
going to be a spider here.
Goes for the soul of the spider. Probably a very good idea from them, and they managed to kill that spider without dying.
Yep. And Valley is going to be going into the abyss, one of the scarier areas of the game. So the main enemy of this area are the siblings or the shades that you're going to be seeing, and they do 2 damage each. So if you get hit 3 times by one of them, you're done. It can be very annoying. Blue recently learned that very well, that they can be very annoying.
I'm still suffering from that.
Lost a PvP pace pretty recently to those siblings, but
Valley's now gonna be doing the Lighthouse Climb.
I saw a pretty interesting strat from him before the race. Let's see if he does it. No, it looks like he's just gonna be taking a safer route.
The siblings are in quite unfortunate spawns here. That's a bit scary, but Valley got through it.
There's some soul here if he wants to heal.
Take damage on before he gets to get a heal, so he should be fine. And Dynamite now kills Hera the Beast and is now on their way to Abyss as well. So Valley's gonna be doing a strategic quit outs during the Shade Soul pickup, or Shade Cloak, sorry, the Shade Cloak pickup cutscene. To be able to skip a bit of that. It's quite a long cutscene, and quitting out is a lot faster, which is also conveniently gonna give him full health back. So that's pretty neat after those 2 damage tanks on the siblings there on the climb. And Valley's now gonna be making his way to the Abyss Shriek pickup, and then he's gonna have to climb all the way up to Hidden Station again, because picking up the Shade Cloak is actually a hard save. So if you were to quit out, you would spawn back there.
Yep. So which he uses to his own advantage once to get through the cutscene quickly, but now he has to climb all the way back up, which is a pretty interesting climb, and I think one of the cooler parts of the run.
Dynamite's run has quite a lot of personality in those wiggles that they do. I really like that.
We do love the wiggles. Thought you were going to be saying personality in the 1 HP scares that he gives us. That they give us.
Valley popping up in chats. Valley, focus your running. What are you doing?
Runner in chat.
Alright, Valley gets the Abyss Shriek, and Dynamite is down on their way to the Abyss.
So, ooh, unfortunate hit. This could be a PB pace from Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken. This PB is just over an hour. But,
getting a bit of an unfortunate drop here. This can be quite difficult if you don't know the spots of the inventory drops. And Valley is doing the Abyss Climb. Took a bit of a hit on that. What are these even called? The little shelly crawly.
Shadow creepers, I believe.
Shadow creepers.
I think I heard that in another race I was watching.
But except for that, gets a very decent Abyss Climb. Gets a bit of an unfortunate moment with that other Shadow Creeper there. And Dynamite is doing the Lighthouse Climb and manages to get through it quite safely.
Yep. And unless Valley chain dies to THK, which we're not expecting this race, is pretty much decided. Both runners have been running very, very well so far.
Yeah, Valley right now, if you follow kind of this pace, I think this is pace for a 51XX, which is very, very nice. It's quite close to his PB, so getting a tournament run like this is definitely something to be happy about.
What is Dyna's PB? Dyna's PB is 1 hour and 15 seconds, so he's definitely on pace for a possible tournament PB. I don't know.
Yeah,
I run current
possible.
patch. Yeah.
Don't commentators curse it though.
Yeah. You say it's possible. If you say it's possible, it doesn't count. That's how commentators' curses work, right? So,
Valley overshoots a bit.
No, I thought he was going for Mila, but then he remembers the tiebreaker.
Valley, don't you dare! Don't you
something
dare!
To consider from the chat is, out of all the matches, there's a tiebreaker for who gets into the top 8, who gets into where, and that tiebreaker is the average time of the runners. So there isn't going to be much swag strats during the runs for much of the runners. More, like more of an after the run type thing.
Valley's going into the final boss. Is now breaking the chains as Dyenamite is about to pick up a bit streak.
Tries Cyclone strats.
Alright, so the Hollow Knight can be quite mean, especially when you're going for optimal strats with a bit streak for damage. Because the Hollow Knight it has quite a big forehead. Quite a big head hitbox. So like it's sometimes that hitbox is a bit janky as well. So you can take a lot of damage just by standing next to the boss and trying to get shrieks in. And sometimes the RNG just isn't in your favor either. But this fight is quite quick with all of the scare. This boss isn't all that powerful on this patch. It was actually buffed later. So on this patch, you might be thinking the boss is a bit slow compared to what it should be. But that is probably, like, because of that, you might be used to current patch. And Valley
current patch DHK is definitely a little more scary.
And Valley is almost at the end of the fight. Gets the scream skip, very nice. And that is gonna be GG's.
So we're gonna wait till both of the runners are done to get them in for interviews. So in the meantime, sorry, I was waiting for Valley's. I don't know what Valley's doing.
There we go.
There we go. Valley's gonna be taking a water break or killing Mila in the meantime.
Valley takes the win for this round. And Dyenamite is on their way to the final boss as well. So we're going to be waiting to see their run finish out as well. And then we're going to be getting both the runners in here for an interview, if they want, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, so
let's see.
Definitely good running from both runners. 0 deaths, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, they got us a bit scared at points, especially Dyenamite in the Crystal Peaks, but they managed to kind of clutch that out as well. So both runners are actually quite close to their PBs in these races, which is very, very good to see.
Yeah.
In a tournament setting, like if you're anywhere close to your personal best in a tournament run,
you're doing something right.
You're doing something very right, and that's something to be very proud of. Dyenamite opts to take the black egg bench. This is useful if you get a invisible THK or like an infinite load or something that might mess up the run. But except for that, they're also on their way to just finish out the run. Let's see what kind of Hollow Knight fight they get.
Yeah, there's a lot of mishaps that can happen with THK, with the invisible and the slide, especially in this type of run. So I would never wish that upon anyone in a tournament. So let's see what's Dyna has in store for us for this fight. Ooh, good.
Some nice shrieks in. The Hollow Knight is giving quite... Oh, got an accidental scream skip there on that scream. That is quite rare to see. And the boss enters their second phase.
So if you don't know, when the Hollow Knight is doing his own little stabby thing, all of your attacks, or any attacks done against it, only do 1 damage. That's why the runners take their time to heal there, because it's not really worth it.
If you need to heal,
damage.
that's the best place to do it. And if not, you might just see them like whack with their nail, because just you want
get some
to
extra
get as
1
much
damage
soul.
here and there. No Scream Sip out of Dyna.
All right, Dynamite is almost, I'm guessing, just 1 shriek away from the end. One nail hit, actually. So that is going to be GG's for Dyna as well.
Big GG's.
Also around a minute or 2 from their PB. That is a very good run for a tournament. And I think both of them did really well this run. So
yeah, we're excited to
GG's
have them
few
both,
runners.
or one of them.
You should be proud. You should be proud of yourselves for this. That was nice. So yeah, they are both finished up with their runs, and we are gonna see if we can get them in here for an interview.
I think the process is automatic, and hopefully we'll be seeing Valley here go and
Valley,
do
I
his
swear if
thing.
you kill Nyla, I'm gonna be so sad.
Valley do it.
Could you really? How can you do this to me?
Oh yes, Valley.
How can you do this, Valley? Please,
Yes, Valley.
Valley, no, please.
All right, so we have both runners in here for an interview. If you guys could come in. Actually, I think I could just drag them in. Hello.
All right. Hello, both of you.
Hey,
Hey,
What
hey.
am I hero?
GG's on the runs. Hold on.
Yeah,
we
big
might...
GGs. Both within pretty respectable times of your PBs. Hopefully you're happy with them.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah, you had some pretty close moments, both of you. Valley, you got quite close there with Umu. Umu was being kind of rude to you, and Dynamite's had a close moment in Valley. Don't do it, Valley. No,
Valley,
no,
yes.
no. Don't kill Nyla, please.
Valley, yes. But yeah, definitely some close moments, both in Peaks and in Dark Deep Nest out of Dino.
Yeah.
Very good to pull out of it.
Yeah, so that's that was definitely a very interesting run to watch, and I hope you both are quite happy with it. It was definitely fun to commentate. So at least there's that.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got 2 on HP like 4 times in the run.
Yeah, you were definitely playing with our heartstrings there, and you clutched it out every time, so which is very nice.
Yeah.
We're definitely looking forward to seeing more of both of you in the tournament. Should be very good.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see what this tournament brings. So far, all of the matches have been really, really, really fun.
I was actually on PB pace up until Broken Vessel.
Valley, I see that dive. Don't do that. Stop.
Valley, the dive is right there, right for the taking.
Oh,
do it.
can you hear me, Win?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on PB pace before Broken Vessel, but I got really unfortunate Malorks, and then the whole run just went sideways. I choked Umu extra attack and like
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, getting an extra attack, like saving that is very, very difficult.
I fell down before an extra, so that was like no way back.
But yeah,
But
That's- I think that's gonna wrap it up.
GG's.
Yeah.
GG's to both of you.
GG's.
And,
GG's.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks all.
So that's pretty much all we got. I'm waiting for one more thing before we start to sign off from Valley here.
Valley, don't
No.
do it, please.
Okay. Well, if
No.
you ask.
Please,
Elderberg
Valley.
instead.
I'll ask nicely. Pretty please.
I'm also asking very nicely here.
It's actually happened already. It's just a stream delay, so I'm really sorry for every
No.
Oh yes.
No. Why? No.
Yes. So big GG's to both of you. Good luck in your future matches.
I lost a lot of respect for you there, Valley.
And, thank you for hanging out with
Yeah.
us.
Thank you to Valley and Dynamites for the run. That was really fun to watch, and I think that's gonna be wrapping it up for today's race. And yeah.
Any words from either of you before we end?
GG's Dino, a really good run.
GG's Valley. Chat was being really nice to me. Let's go. That made the run a little bit better because I was gonna lose anyway. So having chat reading for me a little bit was kind of nice. So good job, chat.
Woo, positive chat.
I love you all.
All right, so if I think I have one last thing to say, is that check the schedule and all that stuff.
Yep. Exclamation
for
mark
the future
R.
runs. I use the
the
command
runners.
in the and go follow the runners. They both stream on Twitch. And yeah, I think that's going to be wrapping it up.
If you haven't either.
I think that's going to be wrapping it up for all of us here. So yeah.
Thanks for having us. We'll see you during the next race.
Thank you. That was very fun.
All right. So bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.